All right. Good day. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Live the Fuel show. So, longtime listeners, you know I love to geek out about health and healthy lifestyle balance. But obviously, in the tagline of the show, we are here to fuel your health, business, and lifestyle as a reminder for our newer listeners and newer subscribers. And I've always reminded people that in business, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, W-2 employees, okay, it's cool too. I was there too. You got to understand that if you put your health and your lifestyle first, you'll succeed more in everything in life, whether it be relationships, your business, or anything else. So when I stumble across or get introduced to new guest co-hosts, like I'm bringing you today, and they might know a little bit about I'm going to use this word because I did it before I hit recording, the woo-woo side of health, which, again, at the end of this show, you decide if it's woo-woo or not, because I geek out about lots of things over the years after bringing amazing influencers on like Dr. Jack Cruz and other people in the world that understand things like energy and proper healthy sun exposure and something along the lines of EMF, which we're going to geek out about today. This guy might know a little bit about rock and rolling around EMF since his brand and his website is emfrocks.com. But he's also the author of Athleticism. So we're talking about here whole body, whole brain. It's all about peak performance. You've heard that on this show over the years, people understanding, trying to hack things, the biohackers. Or once I had the infamous Dr. Jack Cruz on the show, he told me, well, my fans and followers are beyond the biohackers. It's all about mitohackers. Understand the mitochondrial health of your body. And as somebody who was an analyst and a coach in the telecom world, and worked his way up through companies before even the company of T-Mobile existed, I existed in the cell phone world, cell phone towers, all this frequency and all these things that are coming off of your electricity, your cell phones, everything else. Guys, there's a lot going on here, okay? There's a lot of discussions around EMF, especially nowadays in this 5G BS and everything else. So we're going to get geeky a little today. And so the guy's going to help me do that today is Justin Frandson. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Scott.
Did I set the stage enough? Could you and I possibly geek out about EMF?
Easy day for that.
That's an easy day. It's an easy day. Okay. I love it. I love it. So there's some products I want to geek out about eventually on this show today because you're doing something different, which draw me to you. I'm like, darn it. I thought I saw and knew everything, but I got to know because I'm a sales and marketing geek. Love the branding. EMF Rocks. Okay. Grounded by nature. And I didn't always have a grounding mat, in my studio. I didn't understand the importance of that. And then I hear about these rocks and all these other things. So let's pause on that to set the stage. What turned you into a geek about this stuff?
Well, same as you. It's all about health. When you feel crappy, you can't be productive. It's that simple. So I started athleticism.com 25 years ago, working with the amateur and professional athletes. And that whole learning curve, even before that on EMF side of things, when I would talk to a girlfriend too long on the phone, my head would hurt on a corded phone when I was younger.
I say landline days, man, landlines.
Yeah, the landline. And I could still feel it. And I was the last guy to get a cell phone. So I knew this stuff was different. I would wear a watch. I wore a watch all the time. Anyone knows me knew I had a tan line like crazy and knew it, but it still hurt. I'd be like, why does this hurt right here? That's weird. So I had a few of these early on learning experiences that I didn't understand why until I had an athlete, one of the strongest, fittest endurance guys, come through the door. His whole arm went weak. And I'm like, okay. He's wearing a smartwatch. Like, hey, take that smartwatch off your wrist. That's radiation. Let's get rid of it. His arm got better without me doing anything to it.
Interesting.
So that was the aha moment. And that drove us.
Hold on, Justin. He doesn't know what his steps were that day. Yeah. I mean, all of a sudden now we got to know what our daily steps are.
Oh, man. Yeah. So the meta universe, it doesn't exist in our world. So you got to get back to knowing how you feel without a watch telling you how many steps you took, how good of a workout you had, how well you slept, all that stuff. So thank goodness those smartwatches, they got me into this EMF space. And, you know, as everyone else looks to nature to get grounded, you got to put a grounding rod in it. You all your electricity gets grounded into the ground. So did I. And we rolled out these incredible EMF Rocks grounding bags that we sell through doctor clinics all around the country.
Yeah. So, and I think that's an important thing to part to kind of like pause on is that let's think about this for just simple electricity. You build a home, at least here in the North American US, right? We have landline technology, meaning your phones are being run across telephone poles, your electrical lines are being that way, your cable, your internet, etc. Lots of wires going everywhere. Could we put them underground? That would look a hell of a lot nicer. And some areas they do. So, but that being said, you build a house. Now you run thousands of volts through your house. Well, what is the one thing they have to do? They have to ground the house. Every home built should have a steel rod hammered deep into the earth, and then it is grounded to the house. That's just a standard protocol. I don't even build homes. Actually, to be fair, I did do a couple of years of volunteer work with Habitat for Humanity and did build homes. So I got to geek out about that with them. But that was a long time ago. But again, something as simple as, okay, well, electricity, lots of things going on, got to ground the house. And then all of a sudden, again, back to that keyword of woo-woo, people, even I thought about this a long time ago. I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should be grounding myself. What's this thing about earthing and grounding? And I always felt amazing when I went camping and I'd walk in the dirt and walk around the campsite. And then you take your high-tech rubberized quick pause there, technical glitch. But what we were saying here is about high-tech rubberized shoes, things of that nature, enjoying the campsite life. And I was talking to Justin before we hit record, and I was saying how I had the honor and amazing experience to learn what it's like to serve as a wildland firefighter. And like, yeah, we had these big boots and stuff, but every single night we laid out in our sleeping bags on the ground in the woods, sometimes at high altitude. And it's like, this is great. We don't have to do very much. So why is it that we think it's weird to earth or ground ourselves and try and find ways to be healthier, sleep better, and get around these things? Like, I don't know, Justin, what are your thoughts? Why is it considered woo-woo?
Well, it's because you don't understand physics, not you personally, but we as a population have not been taught about it. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to just give everyone something that they can chew on that's palatable and really simplify this topic of invisible waveforms.
Okay. So invisible waveforms. Now, the good thing is this. I am seeing more and more people talk about EMF. I think you're probably excited too, because thanks to and I'm a high-tech guy, but I know we don't need 5G. There's a lot of 5G being pushed, and the safety protocols around it, because I have friends that are RF engineers for AT&T and other companies. I know we've rushed the release of this, and there's way less shielding. I mean, just as simple as we were talking about, the watch. I watched an amazing video. What is the measurement device that they use to measure the frequencies coming off that you can't see?
Well, there's three, but the acoustometer measures wireless.
Okay. So, dude, you think your iPhone gives off a lot? Holy crap. Those wearable devices, I was blown away. I've never bought one of them. I'm like, I don't need an iWatch or, well, again, not bust on Apple. All the wearables. I was like, okay, I'm good. And even the smartphones, yes, I use an iPhone, but I have just to shout them out, Bone Charge out of Australia. I've got some of their stuff. I've got another company. They give you like that adhesive thing you could put over the phone backing, and that helps block some of it. Never got into the watches. After I watched that video, I was like, there's no way in hell I'm putting that on my arm. Like that athlete story you were just talking about. All you did was take it off their arm and say, leave it off for a couple of days, right? And all of a sudden, they're feeling better.
Exactly.
Why?
Okay, so let's dive into this. Our body is one with the universe. Pretty simple. Everything has a resonance. The framework of every organism on the entire planet has a resonance, period. And the resonance, the waveform, there's a name for it. It's called a scalar wave. And it's a wave that's unpolarized, that distributes equally in every direction. It's that simple. Okay, so we just name the waveform and we share that it distributes equally in every direction. Let me give you an example. Is the sun a laser dot that just points at your wall and you can move it around or anything? Or just drill the hole in your wall? No. It would just zap us if that were the case. It distributes equally in every direction. If I dropped a pebble in a pond, does the splash go in a one directional line to the right, left?
Equals circular waves passing outward.
Exactly. That's a scalar wave framework for the entire planet. Our resonance, our electromagnetic field through piezoelectric thermal dynamics, our energy in our body. It doesn't just shoot off my right shoulder to the right in a straight line. No, it's 6 foot. They got us right on that one. And then, but it's a resonance that goes all around us. That's a scalar wave. All non-native, man-made electromagnetic fields or frequencies are one directional waveforms, or they don't work.
Right. Thanks to, again, no offense on the history of engineers and scientists and technologists who have figured all this stuff out. It's very exciting. Obviously, we take advantage of electricity. I have electricity in my office right here, right now. It's powering everything we're doing. But there's an understandable, well, now a more understandable side effect of us taking advantage of, quote, modern technology, which is what you're referring to. EMF is not the same of the scalar energy. And just to simplify some of it, it was like, again, like I was saying, wearing fancy boots or shoes or whatever, having all these rubberized soles, we've lost the ability to connect with this natural resonating frequency with the earth. And we're beings that came from the earth. We're carbon beings that were created, whatever it is, whatever your belief is, hundreds, thousands of years ago, biologically, doesn't matter. Anything alive on this planet is thanks to this planet. So everything's got to have a resonating frequency, whether it's a tomato or you or me, right? There's a resonating frequency. And the closer we can align with that, from my research, the healthier we can be. Is that too simple? I don't know.
It's that simple. That's all you really need.
Okay.
Get grounded by nature, because that's our nature. And the reason is we feel so good when we go on vacation is because we're outside most of the time. Or go to like maybe we went to the beach, or go to Hawaii or what have you. You're getting the sunlight, which is an unpolarized charge from above. So our body acts like a body battery. So we get the positive from above, unpolarized, one directional, or polarizing. We get a negative ionic charge from below. We pull those electrons in it. We breathe in minerals. Hopefully we get it from our food as well. And then we drink amazing water for the conductivity. That's how simple our body battery works. But when we disconnect from any one of those, if you're inside for too long under crappy LED lights, or wearing shoes all the time, not connecting outside in nature, touching a tree or getting barefoot or getting in bodies of water, that energy field, that polarity, which is primary, because without our bioresonance, our chi, our life force, we don't have chemistry. Bruce Lipton will tell everyone that straight out of the gate. So if that gets dampened, it starts to affect the chemistry in our body. And that's where we start to see those symptoms of, disease or fatigue or whatever the case may be.
Well, and to quote Jack Cruz and many, many other influencers that I've had on the show over the years, learning about the power, literal power of your mitochondria, which, I mean, to simplify that, for the listeners, it's the power plant in the middle of your cell, right? So your cell is powered by mitochondria, right? So if you could fuel the body, right, in all the forms you've just said here, right? This is beyond nutrition, proper sleep cycles, your circadian rhythm, but proper hydration, good clean water, good clean energy. You said grounding, all these things. You're helping that power plant times 1,000 times all the cells in your body perform better and heal faster. before. I mean,
sure.
so back to your key word and your background of athleticism here is performance. So yes, now if you're a peak athlete or somebody's trying to be a peak athlete, you're going to try and hack it and figure out every little thing you got to do to get your body to recover faster, heal better, get stronger better. But this applies to regular everyday life.
Right. And you can't heal very well, or if at all, when you're decharged. You won't perform very well, if at all, if you're decharged. And to give the science behind it for those who want me to prove it, it's super simple. There's this guy named Dr. Martin Paul out of Washington State University. He studied the voltage-gated calcium channels. Well, let's break down that word.
That's
voltage-gated. It's a gateway for voltage for your cells.
Okay.
Okay, let's positive calcium into a negative cell, which, when it's open, and that's not good. You don't want that. That causes cell and DNA damage. So there's a vibrational effect that directly affects the voltage gate, the mitochondria, the powerhouse of your cells. That's what EMF stressors do for our body battery. So at the cellular level, it's breaking down your electromagnetic resonance. And then it dehydrates us too, because it's 2.45 billion waves per second.
Wow.
Is the level of destructuring water.
That's a lot of bombardment. I mean,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll chip anyone away. So it dumbfounds me to see that these professional NFL or NBA, their arenas, they're getting bought out and sold, 5G this, 5G that. Mm-hmm. They're zapping these athletes. They're making crappy decisions when these guys are machines. They never make mistakes. And then they're getting hurt.
Yeah. It's scary because you don't think something as simple as a wearable device could actually be causing health impacts. But again, was our body ever meant to be strapped with these high-tech devices with minimal shielding, emitting all this stuff? It's one thing if you're just wearing a traditional watch, okay, like old school mechanical watch, just, you want, I don't know if they still exist. You can wind them up and they keep time. Then fast forward to, and again, I'm guilty of this as a firefighter. I was wildland wise, we were in the wilderness. So I picked up a Garmin GPS watch because I wanted to know the altitude we were at. We had to measure, fire weather behavior. We were constantly on the hour, every hour. You had to know where altitude we were at, our northwest, south, east, west perspective compass wise. And then we had to literally use wet bulb, dry bulb measurements. We had to measure relative humidity in the atmosphere, temperature, everything to figure out, is it getting more dangerous where we're at? So having that technology was a benefit. Did it need to be wearable? Technically, no. I could have just had a portable Garmin and left it in my pack, not worn it on my body. So I have used this stuff. I've never cared about how many steps I did in a day. I'm good. Like, I know you'll appreciate this. I slept so good last night because I got home. I was traveling on business, and my new property here, I have just under 3 acres, and most of it's woods. And I was like, I'm a big mountain biker. Picked up a new puppy with the wife, and I love hiking and I love mountain biking. And I was like, as a volunteer, I've been building trails for years. I said, I love digging in the dirt. So I picked up my tool and I went into the woods, and this started last year, and I'm slowly building my own trail system up through my woods, just so I can hop on my bike and do a hot lap, just to say I can. I'm like, it's like, that's just something that makes me happy. But dude, I'm in the woods. I'm touching trees. I'm digging in the dirt. I get back into the house. I grill up a great dinner. I sleep like a baby. My iPhone gets put in airplane mode. It's in this office. My bedroom is in another wall in another place. I don't have any technology near me. I had to hunt for it, but I found an old mechanical alarm clock that I use. I'm that guy. So, but to some people that's weird.
No, that's epic. And I have to give you huge props, because that's probably one of the coolest things I think anyone can do, is to create a trailhead. And we've had a family home in Palm Desert, California for my whole life, literally. Sweet. And it's on a golf course, and then right across the fairway is the mountains.
Yeah.
And I've scaled up and down the mountains my whole life. And I'd gone up to the top and I just do a straight line, just go boulder hopping and crush it. Well, this one guy, this golfer, he got injured. And so he's like, I can't play golf. The dude made a trailhead, the most incredible trailhead to the top of the mountain.
Nice.
Like effortlessly. And I'm sitting there going, I've climbed this thing for 50 years and I've never seen anything like this. It is the coolest trail, my favorite trail. And now I'm just sitting there, my head spinning. I'm like, man, this guy could write a book on these trails and how many people he made happy, like climbing this thing. It's like literally a topic for your next book. That's how cool that is.
It is cool because even my wife, she's like, why are you doing that? I was like, well, because when my friends come over to go mountain biking, if we come back here after hitting a ride and let's say they broke something on the bike, we can wrench on it, we can fix it. I'm like, oh, hey, do you need to do a test ride? Well, hop on my trail. I have a quick trail. I mean, it's only 2.8 acres. You know, it's not like I have a ton of land, but I'm like, I want my own hot lap. And I'm on a mountainside. So I'm switchbacking it because it is on altitude. It is on a pitch. So it's not going to be an easy ride, but it's like, dude, why not? Like, it's just woods sitting here, nothing going on. And
so cool.
And my neighbors have woods touching me. And I was like, hey guys, I might get near the property lines. Nobody ever paid for like not zoning, but they have no idea where the property line is. So it's just woods touching woods. Like, hey, just give me a trailhead access. That'd be awesome. I'm like, you got it. I was like, so my neighbors are all cool with it. They're like, can I have a trailhead access? I was like, yeah, you want to take the kids out on it, go hike around? I was like, when I'm all done with my section, my neighbor has the whole ridge coming off of me. I might just extend it, add another loop on, because he's like, yeah, I can never build on it. It's too steep. I was like, oh, I can make it usable.
Oh, you're going to geek out on that. That will be so fun.
My wife's like, I don't understand you. I mean, we don't have kids. It's just my wife, myself, and a dog. I was like, listen, I will make the time to build a trail. It's just, it gets me away from all the monitors, gets me away from the technology, helps me balance life. We're supposed to be in Mother Nature. My wife and I are big mountain skiers. You're talking about putting yourself out in the element. We've already, this season, it's been a great winter out west, dude. You guys are getting hammered. So we were in Tahoe back in the end of January. We just got back a few weeks ago from a trip in Wyoming and Idaho. And even that, dude, you're at altitude. So you're closer to the sun. You're getting even more healthy exposure. Again, some people hearing that don't understand that. They think, oh, solar radiation, blah, blah, blah. Again, coming back from that trip, I was juiced. I was like, yes. I was like, working out and skiing at altitude in powder, thinner atmosphere has to make your body work harder, readapt. Immediately when I get back from these trips, I go right to donate blood because I know I got like super blood. It's so oxygenated. I like, people don't think about these things, but that's why I was like, dude, I got to share these stories with you because I figure like you would geek out about that too. You get that. So,
oh, for sure.
Yeah. But so let's fast forward here. You obviously figured out, you and I both understand EMF now. We're helping people understand a little bit more. But dude, rocks. You blew my mind. So how do you stumble across? And again, I automatically, just to fast forward that in my own brain, I'm like, okay, he found a specific maybe earth mineral or a specific rock that's more connective to speed up the grounding process. That was just me quickly jumping in, only because that's the way my brain's wired. But I got to obviously hear the proper process. So you figured out to literally just take bags and collect rocks, obviously not any rock, and help health practices and doctors' offices who want to help people fix and work around EMFs to improve processes and obviously ground themselves without having to get like a actual grounding mat under my desk. So how do you stumble across that?
Well, once I saw the athlete breaking down, so I wrote a book on athleticism, and the first section talks about awareness and all the pillars for health. Okay. And that's where I kind of dove into, this EMF space in a big way. So about a decade ago, I started looking into it, and I found another person's product, and they were using crystals in it with copper. And I really liked it. It tested well at first. And so I started leaning that whole concept of looking to the earth, because they're the crystals, they had a resonance. I'm like, okay, that's where I got to go. So I had a doctor come and approach me because I started testing homes in Newport Beach and surrounding areas and got a reputation and for clearing houses. And he basically said, hey, what are you using? I'm like, oh, I'm using this product. I'm like, well, what are you using? He said, I'm using these crystals, these rocks. And so I'm like, tell me about them. And so I ended up getting treated by him. They were way better than mine. They tested better, they work better. And I asked to get access to, the rights to it, the mine, which he didn't have. He was just getting them from another family. And so he said, sure, I'm not bringing it to market. I'm retiring and I don't even want anyone to know I'm clearing EMFs because they're targeting a lot of doctors. So I went right to a doctor treating people. I repackaged it and brought it to market. And we're now the leading natural provider of EMF protection.
So how did this guy find, I mean, are these mines all over the place? It's obviously a specific type of mineral crystal that has to be sourced in a certain region. Yeah.
Yeah, they're colloid crystals. And they've been, this one in particular, it has a moisture and a magnetic property. So that's the difference. Shungite, amethyst, black tourmaline, all the other known crystals, they call them Tesla crystals, they have a resonance. They don't have the moisture, Scott. So
which we need moisture for connectivity.
Exactly. And it amplifies it. So ours, we have to keep them sealed. We actually double seal them. And then it preserves their properties, because people would mine these before, they would turn to dust. So no one's ever used them for EMF protection.
Just from drying out over time.
Exactly. They dry out, turn to dust. You sprinkle them in your garden. It gives minerals back to your garden. But that's the other cool thing. These things are the way we deploy them in here, double seal them. They'll last for years. And so there's a lifespan on it, but all the other products, I call them GMO products, stickers, or even scalar or Tesla coils, that man-made resonances. It's just like eating GMO food to me. It's a man-made modified resonance, and no one does it better than Mother Nature herself. And we call this the Schumann resonance, right?
Okay.
Are you familiar? Do you know that's the healing pulse of the earth? That's the known name of the resonance of the earth.
So because you're using a raw material from the planet, you can safely, easily align with that statement versus a man-made product. Like you said, there is, again, companies like Bond Charge and other companies. I mean, they got bracelets and they got stickers you could put on your phones and all of these things. But to your point, there's a manufacturing process. There's probably a dilution of the actual efficacy of it. And again, to your point, it's like, well, if it's already naturally occurring in the earth, let's just bundle that, capture it, and don't change it. So literally inside those sacks, you keep the stones sealed to ensure longer life out of them. And because they still have the moisture value in them, you said it's amplified. I heard that keyword. So that allows you, like, you could just stick this thing under your bed.
Right. You put it on your bed or underneath your bed. If it's under, make sure it's touching the leg of the bed. You'll sleep 3 to 50% better. So even a guy like you that's super healthy, you'll have an uptick in your sleep.
Oh, no. This is going to, yes, I agree. But this is my latest hack for the wife that she doesn't even know about, because Justin, I love my wife. She's a doctor. She's an equine medical doctor for horses. She's a doctor of chiropractic, Ivy League, very smart cookie. Sleeps with the phone next to the bed.
Okay. So chiros are our tribe. My daughter jumps horses. She's jumping 1.35 meters.
My wife, every Wednesday, she's doing jumping training. Yeah. So,
and we use chiros all the time for the horse. So chiros are the ones that will want to listen to this and understand this topic, because once they hear it, they can't unhear it, and it all makes sense. So her phone will go away, because
I've been trying for years.
Or have her put it in our Faraday bag, like just quiet the resonance down. Like she can still keep it. That's her security blanket.
That I can do.
Then just throw it in there, and then it drops the signal strength down to safe level.
It's breaking her habitual process. One good thing is this: where my land is, I have crap cell phone signal. So I already have an advantage because I get like 1 bar of coverage. So I'm okay with that. But because again, my old house, after meeting Jack and everybody else, I was like, dude, I threw the Wi-Fi on a special off switch. Everything got shut down at night. The wife, she's like, okay, well, if I'm on call, because she's an on-call horse doctor, you know, she runs a practice. They have 2 other doctors, but it's like, okay, well, if she's on call, she's like, I need to be able to get the phone calls. So I've had to, you know, meet her halfway. I think this is probably important for the listeners, right? Maybe not everybody goes as deep as I go or you. So we still got to meet people halfway. And here's the problem, Justin. She sleeps like shit. And I'm like, I've tried fixing the nutrition and everything else. And I'm like, baby, I was like, I'm telling you, the phone's not helping. 1, I could shut the whole room's electricity down. 2, but maybe something as simple as meeting her halfway and say, go, let's stick the phone in a Faraday while you sleep. You can still get your phone calls. You can. Yeah. Because also, but she's so habitual, even on her days off. I'm like, you don't need it. You're off. Don't put it there. But now I'm like, man, I got to get a bag of rocks and get it touched in the bed, especially for her. I'm trying to help her.
Those 2 points, and that this is a huge topic because, and if it's not the wife, it's the husband that will, you know, do this whole deal where, you know, one needs more sensitive to it. And what she doesn't even realize is she's super sensitive to EMF. And so that pinging, what happens, let me explain it just normal biology, how it works. We call them brainwave states. When you're in a delta or theta brainwave state, you're sleeping, right?
Okay.
Heard of those here? Your brainwave state's low and slow. It's a longer, slower wavelength state. We've tested this. It's just common fact. So this is the woo-woo part coming in, the factual. And we tested as 1 or below 1 to 8 hertz or waves per second. That's when you're in a delta or theta brainwave state. When our athletes or you are in the flow and you're in the zone and you're just revving, you're like hitting every turn, hitting every spot. You're in flow state. You're 8 to 12 or 13 hertz or waves per second.
Okay.
That's the speed of your brainwave state. Now, these cell phones, and mine's on airplane mode right now, but these cell phones will ping at 2.45 billion waves per second of a one directional waveform when you're supposed to be sleeping at 1 to 8. And so what happens is our brain goes into a twilight sleep. So we don't ever get into that deep restorative sleep. And when you put the grounding bags on your bed or underneath your bed, it creates a coherence. So Mother Nature knew we were going to zap the shit out of us and creates a coherence between us and these one directional waves. And so they end up being accepted by the body and maybe even beneficial for the body. So you get into that deeper sleep. And
this might be my missing link, Justin, because
it is.
I got to meet her where she's at. And I'm like, what can I do that still works around her dependencies on these things? Again, she has no problem going to sleep. It's that middle, like when you should be in REM, dude, I'm good. I have no issues. And it's frustrating to her. Like I'm out. I'm solid. I'm good. But she's not. And I'm like, okay, that's, 5 to 7 a.m. window. How do I fix that? And this is the missing link that I could be trying. So
Dr. Rodney White, another fellow chiropractor in Nebraska, his deep sleep went from 45 minutes to 100 minutes for 2 months straight with the grounding bags. He's never, ever tested and seen better results than them. So she's going to get some incredible results. But what I want to let you know is 2 things. One, our Faraday bags are only 7 millimeter. So when someone puts a phone in it, it may or may not ring. When I first started making them, it didn't ring. And now they're making the phones so strong that they ring.
It's breaking through the bag.
They ring through the bag. So we made 2 sizes. We had to double up on them to get it to not ring. And so it's just crazy how strong they keep ratcheting it up, these cell phone signals.
Oh, I'll test this. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not my phone. My phone stays in here on airplane mode. I don't care. You know, it's like I have no tech next to my head, next to my brain when I'm sleeping. So
when we put a meter, acoustimeter on this with a phone in it, it drops it to what bioinitiative.org would consider safe levels. And if your wife's an applied kinesiologist, chiro, or that muscle tests, it muscle tests strong when it's ringing inside there. If you're just holding your phone without it ringing, you're weak. And obviously you're really weak when it's ringing. So put it in there. It'll still ring most likely, and you'll be protected. The second note is she might have a really layers of toxicity built up from EMF in her energy field.
I'm sure.
And a lot of us do. And the way to clear it is by tapping on the grounding bag. So this is a different applied kinesiology technique.
Is that a vibration release? Bag.
What's that?
Is that are you releasing a healing vibration cycle coming off of the stones?
What it does is it acts like a homeopathic tincture. So tapping on the tincture activates the molecules of properties inside. So it excites it. So they start to wake up, and then it kind of says, okay, we're working even stronger now. And when you tap on it, it'll 10x someone's energy, just period. Then you could tap on it and cover the eyes just for 20 seconds, then the teeth, then your thymus, which is your upper chest, and then below your belly button, the intestine area. And that, just doing those 4 areas, those are the 4 areas that get decharged. That'll flush her biofield of any stuck EMF, allow her to integrate with them. If she still sleeps crappy, she needs to do apple cider vinegar, bentonite clay, and protease, a proteolytic enzyme, a digestive enzyme. Those 3 together will do a subtle detox, over several days, enough for her to clear out any internal toxicity.
Oh, I'm sure she's got some toxicity. I mean,
and then she'll sleep,
dude,
sleep better than ever.
Bro, I mean, I told you we're going to geek out. I love her. But when I met her, she was doing a lot of running. No joke. iPhone right in the sports bra, right over her heart. Ooh. I was like, what are you doing? It's like you just want that all like in you. Like, oh my God, like, no. And I mean, that's a whole other conversation. I mean, you don't even have to be talking about rocks right now. You just don't do that. Like these things are bad. Now, granted, we need them. Well, within reason. But dude, I don't put my phone. I haven't put my phone to my ear since I had it with, we used to call them crackberries, the Blackberries.
Oh yeah.
Once we invented the smartphone, I already knew, because I have friends that are RF engineers in that world. And they were like, yeah, don't put that by your head. And again, costs for technology manufacturing, they're going to go just enough, to keep within healthy limits. And then all of a sudden they change the healthy limits, and all of a sudden it's just a mess. So smartphones are everywhere. Admittedly, I run my company off of it, so I do appreciate the technology, but it doesn't mean I need to be putting it right next to my head. It doesn't mean I need to be sleeping next to it. People do need to unplug more. So
yeah. I mean, there's SARS rating, there's absorptions ratings. They don't even test them with them right up to people's heads. So
no.
And you see all these X-rays showing cancer from breasts, and it's the same imprint as the phone. What really gets me are the road bikers.
Oh,
dude, they're putting them on their sacrum, dude, like on their lower back.
I'm a road cyclist. I was like, I don't need the phone, but obviously a road cyclist, your jersey pockets are right there. And then I was like, I don't need it because I don't actually follow them up. I know the roads I ride, but I went ahead and bought the handlebar mount as if I was going to follow the screen, but it's not on because I don't need it. But I put it there so it wasn't in my jersey, because it's like you said, you want lower back pain. There you go.
Yeah. And it's on the opposite side of your lower dantian. That is your power center of your body. Every pedal that you take should come from a couple inches below your belly button, which is the complete, the sacrum is the complete opposite side of that. That's your power source for every athlete. So when you're working out and you got that router on your low back at your power center, it's zapping your life force. So we want to raise everyone's level of consciousness and have them understand this stuff.
I got to put your book. Is your book also on Amazon too?
It was, and I took it off. I don't like Amazon.
I know. But I mean, I have an influencer page there, but it's okay. We'll make sure that, I mean, again, all your sites are going to be linked in the show notes. I just want to make sure I also put a specific direct link for that keyword of athleticism, because obviously from a keyword recognition that you picked a good job on the book title. So
thank you.
But I also noticed, so real quick, because we are coming to the end of the hour here. So on your site, I'm going to screen share while I say this to you, because I'm all about the starter bundle. But I also noticed that you have, what's the mini? So you have a deep sleep bag versus the mini grounding bag. So now in the starter pack, is that the mini bag or the deep bag, or is that a different bag?
The bundle starter pack has the full size deep sleep grounding bag, the mini,
okay, so
which is about 2 to 3 ounces. The full size is about a pound of crystals. And then it has a mobile Faraday bag with it. So this is the bundle pack right here. This is a great starter pack.
Yeah, I love bundles. Plus, I need to get that bag for her phone.
But we're going to send you a care package.
What's the mini meant for?
That's for on-the-go protection. So that's
like hotels?
For cycling, for pocket, purse, or backpack. So when you're cycling and if the phone is on someone, they can maybe put it in a Faraday bag, then it wouldn't have radiation on them directly. True. But they could have a mini, in their pocket, and then it's going to create that coherence between any waveforms that are kick off. So I put this in my front pocket. I put my phone on the outside of it. So there's a buffer, a layer of protection between my phone and my body when I'm carrying a cell phone.
Dude, I wonder if I can get real-time. Sorry, I had to geek out for a second. Last year, my second attempt, and I finally finished it. I did the hardest mountain bike race of my life. It was called the Wilderness 101 in the mountains here in Pennsylvania, just east of Penn State University. And it's Wilderness 101. It's 101 miles on a mountain bike. And they just take you up and down this mountainside all the way out, and then take you on the other side and bring you all the way back to the same campsite. And you do 10,000 feet of climbing in one day on a mountain bike. The first time I tried it was a couple of years ago, right before the pandemic. And I had just recovered from a collapsed lung surgery, and I thought I could pull it off. And I made it to like mile 67. I had to call it. I'm like, that's it. I'm coming back to finish it. But I was like, dude, what if I had a bag of rocks just bouncing around in my bike jersey while I was on that race? Because you're talking about this resonation and obviously, rubbing them. I'm just wondering. I'm like, would that have been like a little athletic hack? I mean, it doesn't matter. That long a race, everybody was in pain. There's people dropping like flies. I finished. The pros were doing it in like 6.5 hours. They were mutants. I was like, dude, I think I needed a bag of rocks in my jersey, I think. But I'm just wondering, I mean, is there evidence of this happening in real-time benefit, or is it meant to build up over time?
No, you're actually going to feel it right away. So Dr. Berlando did a waveform test with the grounding bags, and they clinically passively treat up to 91% of the markers that were off on someone. So it's quantifiably tangible, like instantly there. And then, but where we see it cumulatively is when you get several percent deeper sleep every night, you're going to start feeling better.
True. Yeah, because obviously rest and recovery is one of the most undervalued things out there, besides obviously the technology impacts. But I remind people, like, it's not always about the quantity. Yes, 6 to 8 hours is important, but it's like, what's the quality? And especially as an athlete, dude, like, again, like even the firefighting, we beat the crap out of ourselves, 16-hour shifts. And then you had to go to chow. And then you finally lay down to go sleep under the stars. And you did this for 2 weeks straight before you had days off. So by the end of a wildland firefighting summer season, by end of September, October, you're just shot. Your cortisol levels are burned out. You're exhausted. Like, I didn't want to hike. I didn't want to go to the gym, you know, at the end of those years. It was just a burn cycle. So, I mean, God, I wish something like this, well, it probably was around. I just didn't know about it. I wasn't at the level that I'm at now, knowledge wise.
Yeah.
Well, God, whew, that's 13 years ago. So,
Well, Lance Armstrong has some of the best protocols for recovery. Like, guys would just be hanging out and high-fiving everyone. He'd go straight in the trailer, do some light therapy, get him into parasympathetic rest digest mode, and everyone's still amped for, hours after the race. And yeah, exactly. And he's just goes back down into healing mode, restorative pose, guys checking out, everything's going. He starts recovering hours before everybody else.
I love it. Because again, he understands the importance of rest and recovery. You have to recharge, especially at a peak level of performance. Yeah, dude. Yeah, we were burning, because I was a sawyer too with a chainsaw. So we were burning 10 to 12,000 calories a day on a shift. Like, you're just consuming, and the food was not great because it's government. But I was like, listen, you didn't care at that point. But I mean, God, knowing what I know now, and I was still one of the top performing guys, and I was considered old. I was 32. I was the old guy. I'm like, okay, that was weird. I put that in my book that I put out last year. I was like, hey, old guy.
Oh man. And if you had clean food or some lean oil, good MCT oil, you would have been just ruining these guys. And that's where people are. I mean, David Goggins talks about it. His nutrition was just crap. He'd beat the just dickens out of himself forever and ever. And then he's like, man, there's an easier way. It's not cheating. It's just more aware. Let me start introducing proper nutrition and hydration. And so I don't have to go through this misery. And then let's start stretching so I can actually function, move my muscles and my fascia and all this stuff. So you guys, the stuff isn't woo-woo at the end of the day. It's literally understanding basic physics, chemistry, biology, and applying them to what you're doing and unlearning what we've been sold on as health. Because all the crap food in the market now, it's not even real food. It's just all chemical. So we got to get your body to understand that the chemicals, we don't need it. We just feed your body real chemical-free food.
I love that statement, because literally I feel like social media must have known that I was getting on with you, because about an hour ago I had hopped on just Instagram quick to check some DMs from some fans, and an ad, whatever, popped up, a dude's video, and he was talking about, I loved his connection to the FDA. He goes, we're consuming, quote, food, manufactured garbage. And he's like, what you consume brings about the next result. He's like, why do you think it's called the Food and Drug Administration? We're following the standard American diet, the SAD diet, manufactured garbage, low nutrient value, everything. And then obviously, what is the next step? The drug. So Food and Drug Administration. Yeah, the food we're recommending results in drugs. He's just like, stop it. And I just love that simplicity that he had tied into that. I think he'd get a kick out of that. I was like, oh, it is actually pretty darn valid. I'm not on any
listen. Listen to what they're telling you. Drugs aren't health. Chemicals aren't health. That's not how it goes. And Zach Bush, he's fought his whole career. Actually more recently, he's an MD, and he talks about glyphosate, the herbicide, pesticide. It's patented as an antibiotic, but it destroys your gut health and gives leaky gut. And so he has his ion product, but he's saying 40 years of environmental toxicity is destroying everyone. I'll go back 140 years, and we'll kind of leave it on this with this guy, The Invisible Rainbow. Have you read this one, Scott?
I have not. Arthur Furstenberg?
Arthur Furstenberg.
Yeah.
The History of Electricity and Life.
I'm going to take note of that.
He categorizes it back to before 1889. So The Invisible Rainbow, it's one of the most incredible books. They called the flu before 1889 because it would fly in and fly out with solar flares, cosmic shifts in our electromagnetic blanket of an atmosphere. And not until 1889, when we brought electricity into our homes, was the flu here to stay. And then 1918, the Spanish flu, we introduced radio waves. And then the Hong Kong flu, satellites. And then World War II, radar, and 5G.
Every time we had a massive spike of technology and innovation.
every major pandemic, because, Scott, our environment is air, which we're not supposed to see, but in the big cities we see it. But that air is ether or plasma that waves and particles travel through.
Wow.
If it's a one directional wave, it's a biostressor, a body stressor. It's an environmental stressor. There's your woohoo that's broken down into tangible form.
Dude, I travel a lot on business. And instead of listening to FM radio, I do listen to audiobooks when I'm driving. And I just found it on Audible. Somebody did a voiceover on that. So it's a long book. Wow, it's almost 13 hours. That's going to be
probably one of your favorite reads you'll ever read.
Yeah, Invisible Rainbow. Obviously. And then again, I have another vacation coming up, or I might just, when I get done hiking and building trails, I might just sit down and read a book in the backyard. This might be one I might have to get the physical on, like you have. I think I might have to go every so often. There's a book that I just have to physically read. And I think you're on that point. Well, listen, I have another show coming up in 15 minutes. I always ask my guest co-host to help bring the show to a close. Years ago, it was just some final words of importance to you. But then I realized everything that we're doing, right? Over 400 shows online, years of impacting people and coming across interesting people like yourselves. I realized it's like, dude, now it's gotten to a point in my life where I realize, what is our legacy message that we're leaving behind on this earth or to people we're trying to get through to? So I guess for your benefit and to help bring the show to a close, is there any kind of all-encompassing words you're trying to kind of sum things up with to people nowadays, everything you're impacting with EMF Rocks and obviously the book Athleticism in your background, but is there a legacy message you'd like to leave behind?
Oh, definitely. And stop living in fear, everyone. Get back to getting connected to the resonance of the earth, because getting grounded by nature is the single most missed pillar for health, and it's free. There's not a virus flying around to kill anyone. It's our adaptive system. So stop worrying about being sick or anyone else getting sick. Take care of yourself by getting connected to God, grounded by nature, and feeding your body with chemical-free food and hydration. It's that simple.
I love it. Well, listen, Justin, hang tight. I'll give you a proper goodbye off the air. Ladies and gentlemen, I promised you we would geek out about health and healthy lifestyle. And yeah, there's a little business tucked in there. I learned a long time ago, entrepreneurs like Justin, they found something, it made sense, it helps people. You got to do a business on it. One of the most simplest definitions of entrepreneurs is you find a problem, you fix it, and yeah, you got to get paid for it. That we have a livelihood. So I appreciate what he's done here. You got some guy who found the rocks, found the mines, but he was retiring. He wanted nothing to do with it. Justin figured it out. So again, check out emfrocks.com. Remember, we're here to fuel your health, your business, and your lifestyle. Justin helped us do that today. Great final legacy words. Make sure you hit rewind, go back, listen to that again. We're going to have them noted in the show notes on the website. But remember, you too can live the fuel. And we'll talk to you guys again soon.